one of the driving forces of racism in our world today is about Africans not contributing anything to world civilization. That self-serving idea has been used to justify and enslave the African people. That idea also has also been used to devalue the entire race of African people, so as to deny them to compete socially, politically, and especially economically. How to go to civilization. Civilization didn't start in Egypt. The civilization started in Taseti, one of the Nile Valley states by then, and it was situated in the current location of Sudan. And its capital was in Taseti. As you student, like when you were there studying, you could study that the Iron civilization is started at Meroe. That is the place where civilization started. It was in the year 3500 BC. That was in Tasiti, and Tasiti itself means the land of Boar. These people were good boarmen, they were good in archer. Those people were very good and skillful people. So, Iron civilization changed the face of the world by then because uh, they made tools out of iron for warcraft, for agriculture, for fishing. And there was a time which came another pharaoh from Egypt called King Nama came and conquered the city and annexed it to Egypt. By then, people who fled from that city went southward to form the state, another powerful state called the Kingdom of Kama. And very many other small kingdoms were formed around it, and those small kingdoms could fight each other, and that would give Egypt advantage over these small kingdoms. But came a time when these small kingdoms united under one big kingdom called Kush in the 17 BC. When those kingdoms united under Kush, then came one of the legendary figure by then, named King Pi. King Pi in the year 744 BC went back to revenge of what the Egyptians did by then to interrupt their civilization at the Tar City. So King Pi went and conquered Egypt and he restored back the Nile culture and the Nile religion there in the north. So King Pi conquered Egypt by then the year 744 BC, and years went on like that. And in the 21st to 25th dynasty of Egypt were ruled by the Kushite pharaohs by then. Then the Parisians rose like in Middle East. They became powerful, the Parisians, and they came and conquered Egypt and put the Kushite back. And by then, the ruler of Egypt, by then it was the son of King Pi. He was by the name King Taga. That person was put back to Kush, and at least the Kushites managed to put the Assyrians back to Middle East in the Assyria, and they went and threatened the Israelites, and Israelites wrote to King Taga for help for military aid, but King Taga aided them and rescued Jerusalem from the Assyrians. And it is written in the book of the Hebrews in the Bible. You can get it there. That is my reference to you. So to illustrate my point again, another interaction between the Kushite and the outside forces came the Greeks when Alexander the Great conquered the Minor Asia and the Major Asia and conquered the known world, and he also conquered Kemet, Egypt, and they are the one who named Egypt because Egypt was especially named Kemet, which means black by that time. So Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, and he wanted to conquer the south, the Kush, and discover the source of the Nile because as you study Alexander the Great was a scholar, so he wanted to discover the source of the Nile. But the Kushite stopped him in the year 332 BC. That was their battle between Alexander the Great and the Kushites. But Alexander the Great was put back to Egypt and he stayed there. Another uh, interaction between the Kushites and the outside world was with the Romans. The Romans, their power grew again in the European world, and they came and conquered Egypt again. And the East and the Kushite went back to Kush, and the Romans by then they were under some general called Patronius. They put the Kushite back home, and by then Kushite had a queen called Queen Amanarina. They call her like that, but the Sudanese call her Amani or Aman. Those were the names they call her, but the Romans call her Amanarina. This Kushite queen fought the Romans for 5 years without any defeat, and she even took many war prisoners from the Romans, and she even took the head of Augustus and buried it under on the door entrance of the Kuchai temple or the palace. Before anyone enters, you must to step on the Augustus head to prove that the Kuchites were very powerful. So that was the Kuchian history, and the time when the agreement came, the Kuchites were all given all the right. They took like 80% of the agreement, as the Kuchites were powerful, and they wrote it in the Kuchite in the Meroitic script or text. That was the language used in Kuch by then. Yeah.